Welcome to Coily Crowns. I'm Ashante.
And I'm Lori, and welcome to our Queendom.
Welcome. And if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to hit that subscription button, like the videos, and share them.
Hello.
We have a playlist that you can go and watch all our previous episodes of Married at First Sight, our recaps of the episodes, so you can catch up and be enjoying us in the conversation. We have a couple more weeks left for this season of Married at First Sight, so we look forward to finishing up this season and finding something new to review. But we said we're going to do the new one, right? The Unmatchables.
Yeah, I saw more previews for it. It looks kind of cute. I'm wondering if they're gonna try to, introduce us to these characters to then put them on a future season, which I think would be kind of cool because then we get more of a backstory that we are missing with a regular season. So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, cool. So that'll be the next series that we'll be recapping. So you can join in as well if you want to follow us in recapping that new series that starts in a few weeks. So let's get started with reviewing this past week's episode of Married at First Sight, where finally Dr. Pepper is in the building.
Thank God.
Listen, we've been looking for Dr. Pepper for a while. She went MIA.
She sure did.
And she's like one of maybe the main one that's just, she tells it how it is, right? Very direct. And she did that this episode and meeting with certain individuals. And it was just so refreshing to see her and be like, yes, Dr. Pepper, yes, that's exactly what they needed to hear 3 weeks ago.
Right. Well, she came in, she made her appearance worthwhile. She was like, oh, y'all want me to show up? Okay.
Yes.
Well, this and this and this and this and that too.
It was like she was at home, like watching, like, okay, let me take my little notes.
Right.
Okay, when I go meet with them, I already know. So, okay.
Super direct, super like, very nice. It's not like she's mean or anything, but she'd just be like asking the question, like, so, and so. Yeah, I like Dr. Pepper, man. We missed you.
We sure did.
Don't go nowhere.
So happy to see that you're back. Okay, so first couple, who do you have?
I have Virginia and Eric, and I think they started the episode with her sister coming to visit with her 2 kids. And so basically they come in, they greet each other, and Eric goes and takes them for a walk with the dog. And her sister was like, is it safe that my children are out with this man? And I'm like, you ask now?
Right? After your children are gone.
I don't understand. So I think she was just joking, but just kind of get to the root of how do you feel about having kids? Like, what's your plan? And Virginia tells her about the whole house situation, about, what he doesn't want to do, what he does want to do, whatever. So they kind of talk about that for a bit. What do you think about that situation?
Same thing. I was like, okay. I think she said it was the first time that they've seen each other since the wedding. So it's kind of good to have her come in and start to, I guess, get to know Eric a little bit better, right? Because I don't know him at all. But yeah, I giggled too when she was like, is this safe for him to have my children? It's like, ma'am, it's kind of late now. But they were older kids, so I feel like they know stranger danger. They'll run away if something were to happen. Same thing about the issues that she and Virginia and Eric are having. That house one is definitely seems to be one of the bigger issues that they have continuously brought up. So they will need to resolve that pretty soon because we only got a few more weeks left and decision day will be here.
But they're not talking about the actual issue. They're just saying, oh, where do I want to move? And I want this and I want that. But why don't you want to move into his house? And why is he not making her feel more comfortable? Because yes, we understand it's not going to be overnight that you sell and buy something that you're both comfortable with. And plus, maybe he's thinking, I'm not trying to sell my car. I need to see if we going to be okay. before I just pick up and sell something
But I think
just to buy
Virginia,
something with you.
but I think even Virginia mentioned this episode about like they could just go rent something together before taking that step. Now, how do you do that? Because that means you paying a mortgage at two different places.
Yeah. I don't see that happening. I don't think that's realistic to be like,
It's
well,
not.
sell your place and then we go rent a place to see if it's going to work out. No, ma'am. But he needs to do a better job of making her feel comfortable with her and with everything that comes with Virginia. Because what's the big deal if you're saying everything is working great and da 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 and everything is perfect, if you're not willing to concede some things? Everything can't be the way that Eric wants it to be. And we know you've been married 100 years now, but you haven't been married to her. This is her. Right. So you got to be able to bend a little, just like what you ask her to do. That's why I don't like him.
That's the controlling part, right? No, you need to bend towards me. I'm not bending towards you. I'm not compromising myself to meet you in the middle. No, you need to come to my end, and I'm always right because I've done this before and you haven't, and you're a little girl, so listen to me. That's what I hear every time he speaks about something.
He be saying stuff, and I know I might be skipping ahead because I know we're going to talk about the meeting with Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal, but he's just like, he tries to be reassuring after he tears her down, and I don't like stuff like that. That is just like that's like an abusive relationship, because he's like, I would never leave you. I'm here for the long haul. I'm going to be here for you. But every situation that y'all have, you're done. You're over
every single right. If this doesn't happen this way, then I'm done. I'm out. If this doesn't happen, then I'm good. You know what can happen? And what she told him, do not say that it's done. And he just rephrased it and said the same thing.
Right.
But how is that your answer, your way to solve things? That's just going to continue to push her away. And like, why do I even want to be with you if it becomes an ultimatum? I think that was something they talked about here. Is if you don't do it my way, then you know what? I'm done. I'm out.
Right. But then he comes back and be like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here, sir. And then when you see somebody, if you're having a conversation with somebody and you see them visibly starting to lose control, you see she's starting to cry, like her eyes are watering, he just keeps going. He doesn't be like, okay, let me pull back. Maybe we need to get to the root of, maybe she has issues with conflict resolution. But I mean, he goes all the way through, like just tearing the whole situation down. But maybe I need to pull back so I can reassure her that I'm not trying to do whatever he says when he's apologizing. But it's like he just keep pushing and pushing. You can see this girl's like like losing it. So I don't know. I still don't like. I don't like
him at all.
So they meet up with Dr. Pepper and Pastor Cal. Pastor Cal meets with Virginia. And they talk about, her being scared to be a mom. She doesn't want to mess up her kids. She's thinking about her childhood and probably memories of what her parents inadvertently did to her. And she doesn't want to do the same thing. Right. So, Pastor Cal was like, the fact that you're even thinking about that means that you'll probably be a good mom. I wouldn't don't shut down the entire idea, communicate that with him and don't close the door on that, basically. What you get from that?
Yes. So first, I want to say I like this season how they're doing this. So in previous seasons, when they met with the experts around this time, it's like they're discussing if they want to recommit to the series, the experiment, as they call it, for the next 4 weeks. But this one, they phrased it to, what are those unanswered questions that you have, so that they can coach them on how to go back to the partner and ask those. So I kind of like that approach that they did here. And so with this meeting, I thought it was I liked how Pastor Cal talked to her about that and reassured her that, those are concerns that you have and they're valid, but don't use that as your fear of not having children.
Right.
And then as she brought up how Eric has said, like, well, if you don't have kids, I'm out. And Pastor Cal was like, well, you need to go back and talk to him about that, because what if it's like you had medical reasons that you're not able to give kids? Will he then be out? Because now it's not your choice, but it's, something your body just isn't able to produce for you guys as to give kids.
Mm-hmm.
How is he going to take that? And so kind of going back to what you said, once that comes up, he becomes very apologetic and he's trying to smooth things over, like, oh no, I would not leave you because of that. But it's kind of hard to know that at the time when you always saying, I'm going to be
Every
out.
time.
Every time.
Ugh.
So I think that gave her some reassurance that, okay, that fear maybe started to diminish some.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives her a little bit more confidence, I guess, maybe, that he is going to be there and willing to fight for their marriage a little bit more.
We'll
But
see.
I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think it's so much more going on with them.
Yeah.
So we'll see. That's all I remember. That was the highlight for me in regards to Pastor Cal and Virginia
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
So Dr. Pepper met with with Eric. And again, right away, she was getting him because he started going on the whole thing about the dog. And she was like, well, why is it so important that you like basically train this dog, like, and he's like, well, what's hers is mine now, and blah, blah, blah. And Dr. Pepper was like, well, it's kind of like her baby, her child that she had before you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just come in and just take over and just be a part of life. You have to gradually build a relationship with that child, build a relationship with this dog.
Right.
But don't come in like being so overpowering. Like, again, this dog, he doesn't behave right. And they did a scene where the dog he was like making noise, and then Virginia was making noise right back to him, like being playful. And he was like, you're not helping the situation. They are just having fun. Like, it's a dog. Like, what?
He want that dog to sit there. He want that dog to be a senior dog, and he's not a senior dog yet.
No. So I love that Dr. Pepper gave him what he needed to hear. What was your highlights of that meeting?
Well, yeah, all of that about comparing to a child. He was like, "Oh, I never thought about it like that." Ugh, his whole affect is just annoying to me. And then I was surprised how it took a left turn with Virginia and her drinking, and saying, it looks like you guys have a lot of conflict when there's alcohol involved. Do you feel like that's healthy for her or good for her, whatever? He was just like, no, I do not. And I was just like, wait, what happened here? Is it turned into like she has a problem? Because maybe there was something that we missed there, like, because it just seemed like it went right into that.
I'm assuming, again, Dr. Pepper was been watching the whole time and just like, we started to see a pattern, just like we started seeing a pattern of her just drinking. And I think she brought up too that is when both of them drink, that's when that conflict occurs. So we don't see him drinking as much on the show. But last week episode, they did show that he had been drinking. So I think again, I think she probably was watching behind the scenes and started seeing that pattern. And
yeah, but she was trying to suggest, well, maybe you could talk to her about maybe not drinking anymore. I was like, you gonna try to go through withdrawal with this girl with this drinking? I don't know.
Oh Lord,
I don't know. It's gonna be withdrawal this girl drinks.
As much as she drinks that we see on TV, as much as they show her drinking.
As much as she says she drinks, she says she drinks every weekend, and it looks heavy because you can see on her, and she can handle it for the most part. But
right, but it's still a lot.
Woo. And so he was just like, yeah, maybe I'll talk to her. And then the whole friend situation came up about how every weekend she's busy. And so Dr. Pepper suggested that maybe talk to her, see if you can get like one weekend where it's just you guys or
Mhm.
whatever. But this is the thing with Eric, he just don't be telling the whole story, I don't think. And so he goes to Virginia and says this whole, I don't think he mentioned the drinking. I don't think he mentioned the
Not
drinking.
initially, no.
Yeah, so it was just basically the weekend thing
Mhm.
about hey, we should just have a weekend for ourselves. And she was like, as long as we make plans, then I don't have a problem with that. And he was like, well, if I want to spend time with you, I don't understand why, you're going to have to be able to cancel
Cancel, yeah,
things.
for me.
And she's like, but I make my plans in advance. You should make your plans. Well, I'm that's just not how my job works. And I'm just like, so, what is she supposed to do? I guess she's supposed to just keep some weekends empty for him just in case he's ready to do something, you know. So, I'm kind of conflicted with that whole thing because I don't know his scheduling, but it's still annoying that he just doesn't seem to want to do anything that's would affect him. It's always, you need to do this, you need to do that.
Right.
And it's never, okay, well, I'll try to compromise or do something. It's never that way. So that's what annoys me about him.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about a palette schedule either, but I would think at least 1 to 2 weeks ahead of time, you probably know what your schedule is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
That out of 4 weekends, that you should be able to schedule at least one to say, let's reserve this and we'll do something.
Right.
Um, but I can also see Eric's point of view of where um sometimes, if you want to spend and build that relationship with your husband, you may have to cancel something you may have previously had and be like, oh, sorry guys, my husband's in town this weekend and
Yeah.
we want to try to do something. um Now, I'm not saying that should happen every single weekend and all the time, but at some point, at sometimes she should be at least willing to do that. And maybe she is. They just, again, how it came across from Eric, it just kind of sound like, no. Anytime if I said cancel, you need to cancel. And she's supposed to say, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and cancel. Or whatever. Yeah. So we'll see. But then after that, I think he brought up the drinking and she was like, yeah, no, I'm not talking about that. Something along the lines. You remember her
Is
saying?
that? No, I feel like I don't remember him bringing up the drinking, but I might have missed it. So.
Listen, I saw that and you didn't. And we are, and I told you how I basically saw half this episode.
I don't
I
remember.
hope I wasn't dreaming, but I think I remember he
It
did
could
kind
have
of
happened.
bring it up and she kind of was like, yeah, no, I'm not talking about that. Like she wasn't ready to have that discussion.
Mm,
So
okay. Interesting. All right. That's all I have for them.
okay. Next.
I have Vincent and Brianna next. And they start off their little episode about discussing finances. And they were just adding stuff up. And she was just like, this. And I was like, is this a monthly expense? She talking about spending $250 on clothes? And I was just
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Oh, it was more than that. She cut it down to 250. I think it was like
Oh,
300 to
okay.
400
Every
she
month?
spent every month. I'm like,
Oh,
girl, huh?
yeah, okay.
Not on clothing. I don't see clothing, but some of her other things I could like see. I'm like, yeah, like when you previously were single and you have a nice salary, hey, you got the funds to um take care of yourself, and
Right.
splurge a little bit. But this is definitely one of those where I say finances is usually one of the reasons for divorces. So they're
Mm,
gonna have to discuss and work that out. And you
yeah.
have Vincent who is trying to save and be thinking about the future. And then she's a spender that's like, I have it, so why can't I enjoy it and spend it?
Right.
So they're gonna have to figure that one out. But that budget total was a lot for 1 month. I was like, wait a minute, girl,
$9,000.
what?
Mm-hmm.
Even for two people, I'm like, wait, what?
And she was just like, I want to still be courted. I want to go out. I want to do so. He's like, okay, but we could do some stuff at home too. And I think she was trying to compromise her. She's like, okay, we could go hiking or we could go bike riding, but I still want to be able to do something. I can't just have a zero entertainment budget. And I was like,
Right.
okay, I get that. But I don't know. I guess he's saying he wanted to save. I don't know what he wanted to save for exactly. I know not just, of course, you want to be financially um stable,
Well,
but I'm just saying I didn't know if there was something like specific, like maybe he wanted to save for kids, he wanted to save for something. So I couldn't get to what he was trying to get
yeah,
her to
he
do.
just kind of kept saying the future and his family. Um,
Yeah.
I think as an entrepreneur, right? A lot of those people that are entrepreneurs, they're trying to always save because you never know when that rainy day is going to come. So
Right.
I'm wondering if he's just in that mind frame of we just need to save as much as we can because I never know what may happen.
Yeah.
If there's a dry month, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Right.
I
I
want to
need to
be
be able
able to
to
have
afford this.
something to decide that we can live off of,
Right.
especially if we're going to be having kids soon, because something that came up, he's thinking he wants kids pretty soon,
Hmm.
earlier than Brianna is thinking. So that's my take on it. I think that's part of why he's so like, we need to save. And I think also it comes from, I don't know his background, but maybe it comes from his background. Maybe when you don't have a lot, so once you start getting something, you want to save and make sure that you always have something.
Right.
So,
Yeah, all of that. So I just have, he wants to save more
mhm.
and spend more time at home, and she ain't with it. That's what I put down. So he meets with Pastor Cal and just explaining the situation with the budget and the kids and everything. And one of the situations that he brings up is that he likes to sleep in on the weekends, and she likes to get up super early and wants him to be up early with her. And so he was just like, but sometimes I'm tired, I don't want to get up early. And maybe she thinks it's because I'm lazy that I don't want to get up. So that's something that, we haven't really resolved. And so Pastor Cal was like, well, you just have to communicate why you want certain things. And just because she wants something doesn't mean that you have to bend to her every need. Because it seems like you're more of a people pleaser and
Mhm.
you want to just make sure she's happy, but then you're sacrificing basically your own happiness in order to do so.
Exactly.
So sometimes that's okay. But if it's going to really bother you, then eventually it's going to come out, so you might as well just speak up and just say, hey, this is how I feel about it. See if there's a compromise to meet in the middle. But if there's not, sometimes you just got to be a little selfish and think about yourself, especially for something like that. It's like sleeping. Like, I don't think that affects the relationship to be like, I want to sleep in some more.
Right. I have a little bit of experience in this area, but yes, if this man is tired and he's had a long day or a long week and he wants to sleep in for another hour or so,
Mhm.
take that as your me time and go do
Right. Do
something for
your own stuff.
yourself.
Go get your nails done. Go get your hair done.
Right.
Do whatever you want to do.
So jumping ahead a little bit because he did go back and mention it to her, and I found that Brianna was not compromising. She wasn't bending as much as she should be, because her compromise was, well, we should go to bed earlier and then you can get up and then you'll be ready, you'll have rest. And then there was something else she said, but those weren't
By his
compromise.
phone. He's like, well,
Yeah,
you're up on your phone all night, so maybe you shouldn't do that. And then you could get up earlier because you could get so much done if you get up early.
earlier.
Ma'am, some people don't want to get up earlier. Okay?
Yes.
Like me. I'm not that person. I don't want to get up and start the day and get everything done by 12 o'clock. I'm just, No, I'd rather be up at 2 o'clock in the morning getting stuff done because that's just my personality. So if I want to stay in the bed till 10, don't, why? Leave that man alone. It's the
Right.
weekend.
And you have nothing planned. I can see if you had something planned, but if it's the weekend, just let him rest up from the week
Mhm.
and then y'all do something later.
Right.
But yeah, that was the thing. I was like, okay, Brianna, you gotta compromise a little bit. That's your little controlling bossiness coming out.
Hmm.
Telling this man basically get off your phone. Don't go to bed with your phone,
Right.
ma'am.
Let him do what he want to do.
Yeah. So hopefully that gets worked out. Any other comments from the meeting with him and Cal, Pastor Cal? Okay. So then Dr. Pepper met with Brianna, and I don't remember exactly how the conversation went, but what I do recall was Brianna mentioning about fear of being pregnant and having children. So she's thinking that they will have children more like 3 to 4, 5 years down the line. And Vincent's thinking more like next year, next 2 years or so.
Hmm.
So she brought that up, and she said a lot of her fear comes from having a medical condition. She has high blood pressure, and women that get pregnant normally, or I don't know if it's normal, but it's not unnormal, that abnormal, that their blood pressure will go up. Preeclampsia, I think is what it's called, right?
Yeah, my blood pressure went up and I don't suffer from that. So,
Right.
yeah.
So here she already has it, and so
Right.
she's concerned that it's going to cause more of a issue um, if she were to become pregnant. And so Dr. Pepper told her she needed to, express that to him, let him know exactly. So she said she had told him she has high blood pressure, but not how that affects her thinking of being pregnant and her fear
Right.
of that. So they did have that discussion. And in the trailer, they make it sound like, oh boy, this might be the thing that ends this relationship, because Vincent is like, I already imagine myself with like 5 kids, and I could be a divorced man in a few weeks or something along those lines. But I think once they have the discussion, he'll understand, and I think that'll get worked out.
I just think he looked like he was, when she was telling him, she didn't preface it with the high blood pressure. She went through other stuff first. Then she went to the high blood pressure. And his face the whole time was just like, are you trying to tell me you're not going to have no kids? That's what she
I don't
just,
told these experts I want a big family, and they got me this perfect person, but here it is. Here's the one thing
right.
that
Here's
I
the rub.
want, and she can't fix.
Right. And I get it. I was really nervous to be pregnant and go through the whole process. So I get that piece of that fear part of it that her and Virginia kind of have.
Mm-hmm.
The health issue, of course, that's definitely a concern. But I'm wondering, has she been to a doctor? Has she had that discussion? What are the options for her to be pregnant? What are the effects? Like, really being informed. I think a lot of times we put things in our head, we have a preconceived notion, we kind of scare ourselves before we actually have all the
All the
facts of a
information.
situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course your blood pressure could be elevated, of course you could have preeclampsia, and you could have other issues, but people survive that stuff every day, right? Just kind of having all of the facts, bringing him along with you so he understands the concerns of each one, that you might not be having 5 kids. um just so you know, but maybe one, maybe two. Like, what are our options, so he knows the full gamut, and you do too, because right now you're just like, I don't want to do it because what I think is going to happen to me, and she doesn't know that for sure.
Right. I
um
thought
Go
I
ahead.
thought they actually were going to bring up, or she was going to bring up, about the mortality rates for Black women that
Mhm.
have had children, and that was a part of her fear. So that's what I initially thought, and I was like, okay, I can totally understand that, because there are some facts behind that. But like you said, with the high blood pressure, well, maybe that won't interfere so much with your pregnancy, or they might increase your blood pressure medicine, so that
Right.
helps with that, or monitor you more often.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you said, it definitely go get all the facts and
Right.
information, talk to your doctor about it instead of just, oh God, I'm living in this fear and not even knowing exactly what it is that's like that fear that has you captured like that.
And another thing that Dr. Pepper mentioned is, okay, the longer you take, the older you get, the worse it's going to be on your body.
That
Like your body as a young buck snaps back a lot faster than when you were 30. She said she went about 3 years, 3 to 4 years. So that's
mm-hmm.
like, she'll be like 33, 34. She's pushing up on that geriatric age like somebody else I know
Oh Lord.
that was having babies.
Are you
And
calling
they,
me out?
no, I'm talking about me.
Because we the same
So,
age, but yeah, I
but
understand.
I'm just saying they treat you different after you get certain
A
past a
certain age.
certain point, and it's like more than just the high blood pressure, more than things that you may have going on. It's other stuff where they're talking about, Down syndrome. There's other things that happen,
Right.
as you get older. So if you think you're gonna be feel better in 5 years, girl, you're not. Then you're gonna be like, now I got another issue. Now I can't do it.
It just kind of
So
compound probably after that.
yes, that's a good word. Look
Yeah.
at you with your UCF education. So yes, you can compound your fear if you don't know the information. You're just gonna get more nervous as you go along. So just get the information, get him involved in the process, have an open discussion about his thoughts, your thoughts, and actually medical advice along
Yes,
with it,
that's
so that
very
you can make,
important.
yeah, you can make an informed decision. And I think the last thing that they brought up was adopting. I guess they're gonna talk about that. He was like, absolutely not. What are you talking about? But I think that's gonna be on the next episode.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was just like, ooh, no adoption. Okay. So yeah, that's all I have for them.
Okay. Well, moving on.
Yeah, I was just looking. Yeah, I don't have nothing else. So I have Clara and Ryan next. What is your ass looking like that?
Because they really are that. I thought Haley and Jacob were gonna be that boring couple. This is really like that boring couple. They have that one little thing, but even then, it's just so boring. They're
Yeah.
just boring. So, of course, I think their main thing was about not having sex yet and having that discussion, talking about when is that time going to happen. It's just, to me, it's the same. It's the same storyline every week. So,
But every week I change my mind on them. I think they lying. I don't know what it is. I think they just have this weird facade that's going on, and they're not being honest with each other, and they're not being honest to the public.
so wait, when you say that, you think they have had sex?
No, I don't think
Oh,
they've
okay.
had sex. I'm just saying I think they're lying about how their connection is. I feel like
Oh.
they're just riding the wave,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought Haley and Jacob were going to do, like what you were saying, where, you know, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do as a wife. This is what I'm supposed to do as a husband. There's no spark to me. It's just, I'm a good husband. You're a good wife. Oh, you feed me here. You take me out here. We do. But there's nothing like a.
That is very true. Chemistry does not jump out of the TV for them, for me.
Right.
It's like, yeah, we're together. We work. He doesn't get on my nerves as much as somebody else may have, so I can deal with it.
Right.
That's
It's
how
just
I get.
like, it's like a true arranged marriage to me. Like,
Yeah.
this is what we're supposed to do. We know we're not getting a divorce. So, okay, you like this? Yeah, you do that. I like this, you do that. And it's just like, this is how we're going to coexist together.
That's a good way. Yes, coexist.
Yeah. I mean, you don't make me mad other than the sex. I think if they were having sex, they would actually think that they have this great relationship, but I don't see, I don't know. They don't even like giggle to me. They don't like, they just look like, okay, I know the keys to being in a marriage and I'm just going to stick with this. And then that's it.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, I think they're lying, because even Pastor Cal was like, okay, so what would you rate your relationship? He's like, 10 out
10
of
out of
10.
10. Wait, what? Sir.
Asking Clara this, and Clara's like, yeah, this is great. You couldn't have picked a better match for me. This is awesome. And that's why I'm saying I think they're lying. I don't think she really believes that this is like her perfect match.
Okay.
If she's going to say it, she's going to talk it into existence that this is perfect. The people I've had before, they all broke my heart or something went wrong. So this is going to be it. He treats me well. It's not like he's doing something purposeful for me. He's not cheating on me. He's not, disrespectful. He's very like middle of the road. So this is the best that y'all can have done.
Everything you said. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And he looking at her like, how is it 10 out of 10 if you're frustrated about not having sex? Are you going to be okay 10 years from now doing the same thing? She was like, oh, no.
You're not okay with it now.
So how is it 10 out of 10? If there's things that need to change, that's not 10 out of 10, ma'am.
Yeah, no, they definitely want to give up that facade of we are perfect. Everything is going so well. You cannot have picked a better person for me. Like, oh my gosh. But yet behind the scenes, what we do see, we know that there are already some fraction in the relationship, and it could be more that we don't see.
Yeah.
Because as we know, they don't have those cameras, they don't take 24/7. So we never know exactly everything that's occurring. So yeah, maybe there is something else, but they are just wanting to put on that front. And I could definitely see it from Ryan's point of view, because again, I think going back to his background of being religious, you want to have that perfect marriage. And so I went out on a limb to do this, and I want to honor God. I want to honor my marriage. So I'm going to stick to this and coexist. I like how you said that, coexist with this person. Yeah. And they technically could continue to coexist for
forever. I could see them doing this for a very long time, honestly. It's a weird, I guess it works for some people, but it's just, are you really happy? These would be the people, they'll be married 25 years and then be like, I can't do no more.
I would say the same thing.
This is it.
Yes, those are the couples that after 30, 40 years, you're like, well, wait a minute, I thought y'all were, and there's like, yeah, no.
And then they go marry other people, and it's like a totally different thing, because now they're like, okay, I don't want that anymore. I want fun. I want excitement. I want this. And I don't think they have any of that. It just looks like, okay, we're here. So yeah. And the only other thing I have down is when he met with Dr. Pepper, talking about, the sex part of it. And, have you explained to her, like, when you're going to be ready for that or whatever? And it's like, no. And then they had to sit down, and Clara asked him, like, so, when do you think you'll be ready? Like, what do you need to feel to get to that next stage or whatever? He's just like, don't know. I don't know.
He's been consistent on that part. Like, I don't know. I can't give you no time frame. No. Your face.
I was just like, this girl. I don't know. Confused.
Did she? Well, no, I think she did say that they basically are doing everything right. And so,
well, that was her fault. Yeah, I don't know why she
did. She tell Pastor Cal that? No, right? Because I think if she would have said that, he would have been like, stop. Yeah. Like, again, like,
or Viviana. Dr. Viviana needs to come.
Somebody, yes.
Or just to be like, girl.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if she would have said that to anyone, that they all would have been like, you need to stop then. Like, that's because in a way that's just making you more hornier, right? And you still not getting what you want. So just maybe stop that, and it'll make him more hornier and want to do more. I don't know, but they need Dr. Viviana definitely, especially did somebody bring up that video right from the week before when she was no, they just did a flashback, I think. Okay.
Yeah, they just brought it up again before they had that, but they didn't talk about that at all. I don't know. I think there needs to be intervention here with Dr. Viviana, like what she's done in past seasons, where she directly, like, you need to do some more of this. You need to express this. Let's play some of these games. Let's do some of this. Like, because that Tantra yoga
Epic
was
fail.
drier than the sandpaper. It was just like, oh gosh, when is this over? I'm sure the instructor was just like,
No, he was laughing through it like,
and she was just so mad. So yeah, that's all I have for them.
okay.
I don't know. I feel like I want to skip Paige and the fraud, and let's just quickly go through Haley and Jacob because
We can quickly go through Haley and Jacob.
yeah, I don't have much for them other than I guess they're gonna keep trying this till decision day.
Every week, don't they recommit to trying, and it just they never get past where they are, where the benchmark is from the previous week. It's just they stay in the same area. So I don't know how that's.
I thought it was interesting how when Jacob met with Pastor Cal and they were just talking about how that fourth day or whenever they had sex, that was the end of their whole relationship. And he's still wondering what happened because he thought the first 3 days was like blissful. They were talking, they had like a spark, something on his side. He felt that. And he said afterwards, it was just like done. And they've never been able to get back to that ever again. And I think they attempted to talk about it after, but I still don't understand what happened. She hasn't really been able to express what happened, why everything kind of went down, because it was before the argument. So it can't be because he discovered that she ran away with the rest of the crew and didn't invite him, because she did that before. So what happened that you were just like, dang, I slept with him.
I'm not feeling him no more. Yeah.
And I don't like him. You know what, like, you know, and he still can't figure that out. And until he figures that out, I don't know how they're gonna move forward because she's not letting it go. She's not changing. And he told her, like, you have to want this too. I can't do this. And every time we feel like go a little further, you kind of pull back. So I'm not feeling like desired or wanted here. So how are we gonna keep moving forward? And she still had that same face.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, every week it's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna really give this a try, but there's nobody on her end for sure. She's not really giving it a try.
I
It was
don't
the
see
same
it.
thing. She did mention in her not interview, but in talking with Dr. Pepper, how she feels like she's failing or she has
Yeah, like a
failed.
failure.
Yeah, because of not working out. But as Dr. Pepper said, well, you haven't failed yet. Like you have time.
She has failed, Dr. Pepper. This is the problem. Dr. Pepper, I missed you, right? But I'm going to tell you straight. You got in everybody's behind except for Haley. Everybody else, you told it just like how it was. But for Haley, you should have told her, you have failed. You gave up on this whole relationship already.
That's
before
true.
you even made it past week 1.
Mm-hmm.
And you've made this a nightmare for Jacob because you're not fully invested. And he's trying to show up. He's trying to figure out how to change, but he don't know what to do. So you need to either step in or back all the way out. You gotta pick one. Sorry.
Married at First Sight, y'all looking for a new expert? We have Laura here. Give her a call.
Well, I'll take them checks. I will take them checks.
She'll come in and get them all straight. That's very true though. Like that marriage really did pretty much end at that day that she decided, yeah, I'm not really into this. And she has again never really put forth the effort. She says she is or she will, but she doesn't. And they did talk about too how he is making the compromises, right? He's making changes to try to meet her, but
he would do everything. He will make all the you wouldn't even have to ask him twice.
And You know what? He said what you said a few weeks ago, how he thinks this is his last chance. Like,
Yep.
this is it. If this doesn't work, he
He's
don't
not
think
gonna find somebody.
right.
Off the
He
rack.
said that on this episode.
He knows this is his last. He will do anything for this girl. He feels like she is beautiful. So it's not like he's not attracted to her, but you can't be in a relationship where you feel rejected the whole time. He just like, I don't know how to do that. Like, I'm trying to compromise everything, but that one thing I can't do. I can't be trying to hug you, kiss you, invest in you, and you're just like,
yeah.
Yeah.
But then go and hug other people like
in front of him. He's probably just like, this heifer. Like, what? And then what I thought was so strange, I just remembered it. She kept harping on his last 10 years. What have you been doing for the last 10 years? You haven't answered me. Why haven't you told me about the last 10 years? Like, what's going on with you? And he's just like, I was just dating. My friends started getting married and having their kids, so I couldn't hang out with my friends. I'm working. I got my house. What does that change for you, Haley? What does that have to do anything with anything? That made you more attracted to him, to know that he was by himself dating random people? What the heck are you talking about?
Like, she was looking for something to be like, oh, see, that's why he's not likable. He can't. I don't know. It was like she was looking for something, because you can see he's a very
reserved,
boring person. So what did
I didn't say that, Jacob.
He doesn't travel, right? That was already brought up. He's already said how invested he was in his house. So he built the pool, built the, all of that. So what was it like when he said he wasn't doing much? I believed it. Like, what?
I feel like he would jump in her world. If she said, let's go to Mexico tomorrow, he would be like, let's go. Let's go here. You like to travel? You want to jump out of a plane? I'll be taking pictures at the bottom. Here you go.
No, he definitely, and like you said, because of that, this is my last chance. What do I need to do? I want this to be successful. Do I need to go? I don't know. I'm trying to think of something outrageous that he would do. Go bald? Okay, I'll shave my head and go bald for you. That's what you want me to do. Oh, you want me to eat more than just steak and eggs? You know what? I'm gonna give this a try. Go ahead and fix something for me. Like, he really is willing.
He would do it. Everything. He would. I mean, yes, he's quirky. He has like weird jokes. I think I calm down a little bit of the 80s stuff. His weird jokes is a part of his personality. I think that's something that you can overlook. He wants to talk to your friends. He's not super quiet or standoffish. He wants to get to know you. He wants to do experiences with you, but he can feel that you don't like him. That's one thing he cannot do. He can't do that. I don't think anybody can just be in a relationship where you feel like the other person don't like you. Right. Period. Like, don't. So I just don't understand. She just need to leave. Just leave, Haley. Just leave that man alone. And hopefully this show will help him get somebody else who would be okay with him. Maybe need to put a little post. Calling all 80s lovers that are single in Atlanta that wants a stable guy. I'm sure he makes good money. Oh, he does. And would just love to bring anybody in his household. Are you homeless on the streets and you need somewhere to stay? Lord. He will take care of you. You just gotta like him and his dogs. I think he would get rid of every one of his dogs too for somebody. This man is ready to settle down and just enjoy life with someone else, just like how he said. And this girl just needs to go away.
Yeah, this one didn't hit.
No. So yeah, that's all I have for that.
Okay. So last but not least, but yeah.
Paige meets with Dr. Pepper. I think that's all we saw her, right? With Dr. Pepper?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how we saw them.
Because this was like the longest little meetup that Dr. Pepper had. Dr. Pepper
needed it.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. She started with a huge apology to Paige. Like, we are so sorry. You deserve the best match that we could have made. Um, we apologize because this is not the person that we interviewed, the person that we thought. Like, if he wasn't such a narcissist and only cared about himself, then maybe this would work, because on paper you guys did look good. And
I was
based
like,
on what
yes,
he
Dr.
said,
Pepper, yes,
yeah.
call him out, because that's exactly what he is.
After
Yes.
that, I was like, yes, he is. And that this process should not reflect negatively on her. She did nothing wrong.
Nothing.
And she did not deserve this. So I was just like, I was like, go ahead, Dr. Pepper. This is why we missed you.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure it doesn't feel that much better for Paige because she had to go through this whole process.
Right.
But at least someone from the show is saying we effed up on this. We did. And he did bamboozle us, but we still feel bad for what happened to you. And we did not expect, like, this is not our show. This is not the stuff that we go for on a normal basis. We're not going to try to set people up. So I did appreciate that from her. So then she went into kind of asking questions. What questions did you have? Like, how do you, what do you feel like you still need to know? What's missing, And one of the questions she asked her was like, so what do you think about why he wanted you to meet his baby mom?
Oh, I was like, see, Dr. Pepper, yes, ask the right question. Why?
I'm sorry.
What she should have asked her too is, like, why did you feel the need to go?
I think we know why she felt the need to go. I think she feels like she was supposed to do everything to sacrifice herself for this relationship, no matter what it was. I think we know that. It's just we're trying to get into the fraud's head because he all over the place.
Yeah.
So she was just like, I don't know. She was a sweet lady and she was saying that they had no intentions of getting back together, but then he's over here buying her a car and, all this stuff. So I don't know what to make of that whole situation, So, and
go ahead.
And Dr. Pepper was like, well, he did it because he wanted to hurt you.
That's what I was about to say.
Yes.
He hit the nail on the head with that one. He did all that just to hurt her.
Yep. So she was just like, either way, even if you found the answers to these questions, it would not resolve what happened to you and how you should move forward with your life. Using this as a guide or some kind of experience to make sure you know how to set your boundaries in the future, what you will and will not accept, and how you call that out at the spot. Now, you don't keep it going, you call it out and you move forward, So, Dr. Pepper, where you been, girl? You should have been there on day 3 to be like, let me get this girl on the phone.
Yes, call her up. Let me talk to her.
Yeah. Anything else based on what Dr. Pepper told her?
Nope. I was just like clapping, saying yes, Dr. Pepper the whole time. She said everything that we've said and everything that Paige needed to hear.
Yeah. And then I don't know why we had to end with this, but then Paige was like, well, I still want to face him on decision day to figure out why. And I was like, girl, for what? Leave that man alone. He don't want you. But that's how they ended that little piece. Dr. Pepper was just like,
oh, but I'm not still surprised about that. And minor spoiler alert. I heard on another podcast that even after this, they were still messing around.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, it's not like it was ever going to be a cut in dry. I'm not ever seeing him, messing with him, nothing. No. Still going. Well, at the time, still going. Yeah. Okay.
I just hope it wasn't. I just hope it was with protection. That's all I'm saying. Because he oh, okay.
I mean, they were doing it without it in the beginning. Maybe not. Okay. This dude.
Fraud. Meets with Pastor Cal and is late, as per usual. And Pastor Cal just sitting there like, looking like somebody's daddy. Just like,
okay, we ready to wrap this up?
Yeah. And so then he comes in, he's like, oh, apologies for my tardiness.
Listen, why I thought he had on pajamas. Like, I was looking at his outfit. It didn't look like something you would wear to be filmed. At least when I first looked at him, I think because of the top, I don't know, the outfit to me was like, I was like, did this man just show up in his like pajama? Like,
I don't know.
Go ahead.
But yeah, so they meet. He's so annoying. I don't even know. But basically, I'll just do the little highlights and we can fill in the blanks. But basically, he was just like, he wasn't attracted to her. Pastor Cal was trying to say, listen, you look good on paper. What else didn't you like about her? Nothing. It was just the physicality.
Her face.
He's like, where? In the face. That's just not the type of girl that I would usually approach. So he was just like, yeah, but we had a conversation and we talked about this. And you said, he was like, yeah, I said I was open. So Pastor Cal was like, so what are we supposed to do with that? Being open means you don't have special specifications of how a person is supposed to look, complexion, symmetric. Okay, I can't say that. Being symmetric.
The face, okay.
Or having this, having that, whatever. If you're not that specific and you're open, then you can't sit here and be like, all the women, all the Black queens, all the white queens, all the Hispanic queens in Atlanta, and this
you
one
pick this
you
one.
pick, who is like, that's how he described her. But you're so having sex with her and she's this is your wife.
He's so disgusting. Ugh.
So he goes down that list. He was just like, but you can't, you don't even give it a chance. You never even actually gave this. Oh, I did give it a chance. And I'm not that picky. He was just like, you're not that
picky. Where?
He's like, I gave it a chance. He was like, on day 3. How is that giving it a chance? So it's like, you can't have a conversation with an idiot. And after a while, you just got to be like, okay. And so I guess he went into, how do you buy a car for your ex? And he's like, well, what's the problem with buying a Mercedes for a Mercedes? I know that was all clout. I already knew that. And I'm thinking of buying her a house too. And I was just like,
Lori said that. I said, Lori said that. Lori said next thing he's going to do is be buying the house. And I said, look at that. That's exactly what she said.
He's trying to get this girl back. And he's going to do it with everything until it gets foreclosed or repoed. You know that's what's going to happen. So he's trying everything because this girl does not want. He got married just to get her back. He didn't we already talk about this?
Did we?
He got married to get her back. He got that tattoo to get her back. He did everything is to get this girl back.
That made so much sense. I mean, I know we talked about him wanting her back, but not going through these lengths of things to get her back. Why would make her jealous? So I'm gonna go get married.
Yes.
How that work?
And I'm gonna do it on TV.
How that work?
Yep. Everything. And then once he found out she was pregnant, he was like, bet. That's all I need to hear. You got to be mine now. Let me show you. Here's a car. And make sure you good over here. And make sure he probably bought a whole bunch of stuff for this child. And just doing all kinds of stuff, jumping through hoops to get this girl back. Hoops. And who knows why they even broke up in the first place. As you know, I don't know if I should say that.
Oh, what you heard?
No. I didn't hear nothing. I'm just saying, when a man messes up, like if he cheated on her, did something to her, she finally says, you know what? I'm not gonna take this. That's when all of a sudden they start being a perfect example of what they should have been on the first place. And they will start doing stuff to win you back. And so now probably tried that method first. She wasn't going for it because she didn't feel like taking that crap. So he said, you know what? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sign up for this show. I'm single, right? Let me come out and sign up for this show. Sign up for the show. Actually got picked because I'm sure he was probably like, am I gonna get picked for this show?
That's what I was gonna say. Got he did it thinking, I'm not gonna get selected or anything.
Played his card all the way through, charmed these experts, put on the best foot forward, got on this show, and when he saw Paige, he was like, oh snap. The hell did I sign up for? And now everything just crashed and burned. And now he's just like, well, good. This girl is pregnant. I can get her back and still be on the show. I can do both. Just saying.
Wow.
A mess. He's terrible.
He is the worst.
Because he was still in love with her. He told this girl on their honeymoon he was still in love with this girl. Yeah. He never fell out of love with this girl. He probably just effed up somewhere. And he didn't think he was going to get her back. And this kid gave him a glint, like gave him a little in where he was just like, I'm back.
And so even when she said, oh yeah, we're not getting back together, he was just like, oh, okay. Challenge accepted. So that's what I need to do. So I'm gonna go get the car. Okay, that wasn't enough. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and make plans to go get a big old house for the baby. Pastor Kelly, the baby not even here yet. Like, what you doing?
My future king and queen. I gotta be like royalty. What you talking about? What you talking about? So I don't want to see him no more. I'm over him.
Never ever again. Don't need to see, hear anything about this dude. Okay, well, that's everything, right? Pretty much. If we missed something, put it in the comments. Let us know. Yeah, but we're winding down. A few more episodes left. Yeah. If you haven't watched any of the previous episodes, go back and look at the playlist. We'll put it up here so you can click and watch previous episodes. Subscribe to the channel so you get notification when we release our videos. This has been a season, man. I'll tell you. I'm so happy to see Dr. Pepper back though, because we were missing you, girl. We were missing you. And you came right on time to get these people together. So watch out for our next video next week. And before we leave, we want to remind you to do what?
Protect your throne.
See you next week.